yeah, I don't know. It just seemed to be a milestone age that, and I was working too hard. My job was like one of those 24/7 jobs, and there was no time to sit back and to kind of take a little breather and to kind of think, okay, now let's see, you're not going to get the same kind of job that you had, or maybe you don't even want a job, but I just needed some time to think about what was next. And it's so interesting, having taken some time off. Just recently, someone came to me from Gay City Health Project and said, "Hey, Jeff, we've got this project coming up. Take a look at it. Tell us what you think. Do you want to do that?" And I hadn't really ever thought about taking on this position, but I now have the time and the ability to, whoa, excuse me, to do that. So, yeah.
What is the position?
So the position is the Affordable Care Act, which is the same thing as Obamacare. Many people do not realize that, and they hate Obamacare and they love the Affordable Care Act. But my position is to work with Gay City Health Project to roll out Obamacare to the LGBTQ community in King County. And so I'm doing, or will be doing, right now I'm just in a learning process, outreach and education focused on getting people to know that this great um, insurance program is there and that they might qualify for it.
Now, why is it important that the LGBTQ community needs a specific outreach for Obamacare?
Because any community might need it. The first of all, 1/3 of LGBTQ people have insurance. That's not a great percentage. It's we have for so many years been not been great consumers of healthcare. We've got certain issues in our community that create healthcare disparity. We have got some diseases that are more prevalent in our community. And so, yeah, I think it's just really important that people know that they are included in this, and that they are so included that an organization like Gay City has been given a grant by King County to go out and make sure that they know about this. And so, yeah.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be perfect for that.
Yeah, I majored in political science. Wow, you were really reading my Facebook page.
I was studying. I got to get ready for the interview, right?
So, yeah, that was back in 1973 that I graduated with a degree in political science. And by the way, I did my senior thesis on gay stuff. I did my senior thesis back in 1973 on, oh, I'm forgetting the name of it. At some point, I'll pull out it was really a bad senior thesis. I just never quite put it together really well. But I guess I put it together well enough to graduate from Princeton because here I am. And I've always had an interest in politics, but you get busy and you start working I was mainly in higher ed administration for a number of years, and I was always in Portland and Seattle, kind of on the fringes of political activity. Back in Portland 30 years ago, I ran around with a group of folks that I probably met Ed Murray, the guy who's running for mayor now. God, 30 years ago, and he was around this group of people that were in a group called Brother to Brother, and it's like, anyway, long story. So now I have the time to really get back into it. Last year, during referendum 74, I certainly got a big dose of being involved in a campaign, and now it's kind of fun. This being around this whole group of mainly young staffers who are trying to propel Ed Murray into the my.
The mayoral position.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, do you think he's going to win?
I think he's going to win, and hopefully by the time this film is done, we will have Mayor Ed Murray as our mayor and Michael Shiosaki as the first person.
The first person. Okay. The first person of Seattle. We're actually.
Yeah, his wedding, I think, was one of the more exciting experiences this summer, and I'm both happy and sad because I'm standing in front of the tent wondering why it's like 100 degrees out. Why is the back of this tent, which faces this big street, why is it closed? Why aren't we opening this? And then I'm looking around, I look up, and there's this really handsome guy standing there, big guy. And I'm like, wow, look at that really handsome guy. And then I realize he's talking into a little microphone. And then I look around, and there are all of these kind of goons around. I'm like, oh, that's right. It's Senator Ed Murray getting married. My friend Ed.
Right, and
It makes me feel terrible. I can remember liking some Republicans and not being at all upset that a Republican was running for the mayor of New York, or that Nelson Rockefeller, a Republican, might be the next vice president or the next, and that was because they were not, I guess we all were not as extreme as is the case now. I've really tried to lead my life not being extreme, and so it really upsets me. I can remember going to, I'm just going to say a city in eastern Washington, and I'm going to get totally off the track here.
it's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, a city because sometimes with me, and I talk about myself as being culturally flexible, and that also means that I hold my anger until I think it's appropriate, or until I can find another way to get at what I'm after. And so this situation that cropped up, and I don't know why it cropped up just now, was as Pride Foundation had kind of a tour of eastern Washington and western Idaho, and I remember going to this reception, and this woman said to one of my coworkers, "Oh my God, I have to meet Jeff Hedgepeth, your grants program director." And he said, "Oh, there he is right there." And I kind of waved, and she went, Where? Kind of looking right past me, and my coworker went, "Right there." And this woman was so convinced that this black man standing 5 feet away from her could not have been this person. And I could have gotten really, really nasty. And I do have that part of me. But I'm from New York. I can lay it on. But I just thought, okay, this is a teachable time here. And I wish that our politicians could kind of take that deep breath and say, okay, I don't agree with this person. I might not even like this person, but I have to work with this person. I've been elected to work with this person. I have been put into this job at Pride Foundation to work with the entire community. And so I just think that we just can do better. And I don't see a way out. I mean, do we just keep butting heads, and then depending upon who manages to get a couple more seats, they then run the whole shebang? I don't know. It's just not. It's not a good situation, and I also don't like it from our side. It's so often I talk to liberals or people in our community, and they've just got it all worked out. And if somebody isn't for, I'll make it up, one of the initiatives, they're a bad person. And I think, no, they saw something different. And if they work together, I don't think either side is going to be totally happy with what they come up with, but that's what it's all about.
Politics.
Right.
debate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.